Alright class, in this video we're going to talk about the perimeter of a composite figure. And just so that you guys remember, a composite figure is a combination of multiple regular shapes. So here are the steps to solve these type of problems. You're going to highlight the outside of the figure, which I've done. Notice that I'm not highlighting anything inside because I only want the perimeter, only the outline of this shape. Then we're going to fill in the missing sides and add all the sides together. Alright, in this separate video, I will talk about the area of a composite figure. Alright, so if we look at the given problem here, I highlighted the sides that I know for a fact are the lengths of the sides here. But there are two sides, this one right here, and this part of the triangle that's missing. So what I'm going to try to do now is figure out the missing side. So the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, so I highlighted this portion. I'm trying to figure it out. In order for me to solve this, I need to look at other sides that go up and down. So this 5 centimeters and the 8 centimeters. When I look at these sides, they're going to help me figure out what's the length of this missing side. Well, if this right here is 5 centimeters, technically if I go over to the right-hand side, up to this point right here is 5 centimeters. If this entire thing, so like this part right here from the bottom is 5 centimeters, I still have the missing chunk right here. Now I have 8. I know the length of this whole entire side is 8, so if I take this 8 and this 5, I can subtract them and get the missing side. In that case, this is going to be 3 centimeters. So if this is 3 centimeters, that means that this side also is 3 centimeters. So I'm going to write that in here. So I have my first missing side that I can now check off. Now I have the last one. If we are looking at this triangle here, I have the height, or the length here, one of the legs, and I have the other leg, and I'm missing a hypotenuse. So if you hear the words legs and a hypotenuse, hopefully you're thinking about the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so here is the Pythagorean theorem. I'm basically going to find one leg of the triangle, and then the other leg of the triangle, I'm going to add their squares together, and then find the square root so that I can find my hypotenuse. So that's how I'm going to solve it. Now, I'm going to label 3 as A. I need to find B, and C is what I'm going to eventually find. So I'm going to find C right here. But I don't know B. That is a problem right now. So remember in the previous example, I told you to look at other sides of the polygon that also kind of match the direction that it's going in. So B, the other direction that goes left and right, is 4 centimeters. And 12 matches as well. So if this entire thing, if this entire thing is 12 centimeters, and this is 4 centimeters, basically what I can say is, if I go straight down, this entire length right here is 4 centimeters. So let me make a note of that, 4 centimeters. And then this chunk right here would be 8, because 12 minus 4 gives me 8 centimeters. Well, if that's the case, if I go back up here, then I can safely say that this is the length of 8 centimeters. So I have my one side, which is 3 centimeters, and then I have my 8 centimeters, so I can go ahead and plug it into my formula. So it would be 3 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. So do the math. C equals, I'm going to take my calculator and figure that out. So I have 73 equals C squared. The square root of 73 will be about 8.5. So C is approximately 8.5 centimeters. So when I go back into my picture, I can write the number 8.5 centimeters. So the last step is we add all of our sides together. So I'm going to write over here, final step, add them all together, and I'm going to list the numbers that I'm going to write, or that I'm going to add on the left-hand side. So these are all the sides that I'm going to add up, and I'm going to go ahead and do that in my calculator. And my final answer, the perimeter of this shape, is 43.5 centimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my box. Don't forget to write your units when you're solving these problems. Alright, so let's look at the next example. It says find the perimeter. My first step was to highlight. I know that I have this length here, I have this length, and I have 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight the parts that I do need to find. So everything in red is what I'm going to need to find. So in this case, I'm going to write on the right-hand side what type of formula I'm going to need to solve for the missing side. So for this one, this circle here, this is probably going to be one of our hardest ones. We are trying to find the outline of a circle. The outline of a circle is also known as the circumference. So this is the formula that I'm going to need to use, although it's a little different. So we'll look at this formula. And then the last formula is to find this part. So what I'm going to really be looking at is the opposite side. So remember that anything, if a rectangle, there's 2 sides that are equal to each other. So this is 4 feet. This also has to be 4 feet. So then if this is 6 feet, we can find that this is also 6 feet. Okay? So now let's look at the circumference. So the circumference is the outer edge of the circle. There are 2 or 3 different formulas, or 2 different formulas that we can use. There is C equals pi times D, and C equals pi times R. I'm sorry, it's pi, 2 pi. Okay, so depending on what they give you, you can use either one of these formulas. In this case, because 4 feet is given to us, that is our diameter, I'm going to be needing this first formula. It's going to be a little bit easier for me. So, down here I'm going to show my work. C equals pi times 4. If I put that in my calculator, I'll show you what that looks like. So, I'm going to take 3.14 times 4. And I get approximately 12.56. But this number is basically telling me, okay, that's the circumference for an entire circle. You don't have to write this on your paper, but 12.56 is the entire circle. We only want half of it. So what we're going to do is take this number and divide it by 2 to actually get the length of the semicircle. So I'm going to go ahead and divide it by 2. And I get my circumference equals 6 point, let me see here, 28 feet. So now I have all my missing parts. All I have to do now is write the numbers that I'm going to be adding. So I have my my circumference of my semicircle, so 6.28 plus 6 feet. Actually, I won't put the units on this. Plus 6 feet, plus 5 feet, plus 3 feet, plus 6 feet. So basically, I just went all around, and I'm going to add these up. All right, so if I add these together, let's see what we get. All right, so when I do this together, I get, my answer is going to be 26 feet. Let me write this down. 26 feet. 0.28. Okay, and that's how you solve those types of problems. So that's how we solve that's how we find the perimeter for composite figure. Check out the other video where I talk about finding the area of the composite figure.